My name is Neville Bartle. I'm a retired district superintendent in New Zealand, and before that missionary in Papua New Guinea and Fiji. The church I grew up in was a very small church. In fact, on a good Sunday, if we got 15, we were doing very good. So I was the NYI group. But youth camps was a big thing, because you go to youth camps, you meet up with all of these other kids, you have special programs geared for young people, you have lots of fun and being together and listening to good preaching. And it was just a realization, I'm not in this on my own. There's more than just me. And so youth camps was a very big encouragement and support as a young person. Then when I finished high school, I moved to the big city to get a job and to a bigger church where we had about 20 young people in the church. And then NYI was where you get doing stuff with other young people, and you get to lead the singing, you get doing public speaking, you have quizzes and debates and programs, and you're involved in planning and all that sort of stuff. So it was a good learning process. The church in New Zealand had bought 20 acres of bush country for a youth camp. So a lot of our weekends were spent out doing stuff, digging ditches, mixing concrete, doing carpentry, building stuff. They call it good missionary training. So you got to do a bit of everything, and it was good, just volunteer work, and that's where you went with your mates, your friends, and had a good time. So that was all good preparation for later when I went to Papua New Guinea. I was in my early 20s when I went to Papua New Guinea as a missionary. In 1971, we had our first youth camp in Papua New Guinea, and nobody had ever had a youth camp before. So we had some thatched roofed houses that were in an L shape, big L shape. And these you had to bend down to get into them because they were just built low to the ground, made out of bamboo and thatched with dry grass. And we had our big marquee up for our services. And our first evening, we were just orientation. Come together, this is youth camp, what do you do at youth camp? And while we were starting in the orientation, somebody yelled out, "Fire!" And then we saw smoke coming from one of the thatched roofed houses, which was for accommodation. So where it was not burning, they pulled off the thatch, they collapsed the house so it wouldn't spread, and we got the fire out. And it just seemed like this is going to be one big disaster. We went ahead and had the camp, and it was a brilliant time, God blessed. And whereas on Monday night it looked like, oh my goodness, this is a disaster. No, at the end of the week we saw lives changed, people growing in their Christian life, and we were just saying, wow, God has answered prayer, and this thing has come out. And since then, youth work has gone on in leaps and bounds until now. When they have a youth congress, they have 2,000 to 3,000 young people there. So we just praise God for how it's developed over the year.